I'm talking to Steve Faccenda on the Saturday Forum this morning. Steve is a gay man who's living with a brain tumour, a glioblastoma, a multiforme brain tumour, and I'm really honoured that you've come in and to talk about your experience on the Saturday Forum today on Gaydio. And I'd like to ask you now, Steve, about how you spoke very movingly about how you feel about how you're confronting, if you like, this challenge, how you're living at the moment. How do you feel about the future? How does that relate to you at the moment? How do you connect with that?
I'm very positive.
Are you happy? Are you willing to say what your prognosis is?
The statistics are 12 to 18 months from diagnosis. But the figures are because it is a very rare cancer, the figures are very low. So, 12 to 18 months is a ballpark. We've found people on the internet that are a lot less than that. We've found people that have survived this by 20 years and are still going. So,
well, I saw there's a website which I'm sure we'll give out again later, at btbuddies.org.uk, and I was reading on that what they call stories of hope.
Yes.
And there was at least one man who's lived for 20 years.
Yeah, it is nice knowing that these figures are there, but there are people out there that have just dismissed them. I said to the doctors look, that's your opinion, I don't agree with it, and they've just said, well, good on you. The positivity has got to be one of the best possible drugs you can ever have.
It must be really difficult for a moment, if you're a doctor giving this sort of information to a patient, if you say, 18 months, that's a huge responsibility saying that to a patient, putting any kind of term. I'm actually a little surprised in a way that you got that information from them.
On the day that I was diagnosed, I did ask, and they did say at the time, we don't feel that today is the time to give you that information. And it was actually my partner that said, out of all this, the not knowing anything was the hardest part. And, you have just given me some really bad news. I might as well have the whole lot. It's like pulling a plaster off. If you do it all in one go, it doesn't hurt any less, but it's done and dusted. So that's how it was. And I think knowing everything on that one day, and then going home and chewing it over, I think was easier than getting it in drip form. So it is there every day.
And I mean, you live with your partner.
Yeah.
And he's there supporting you.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's it must be a big help, a big positive thing in your life.
It is. My partner and my partner's parents as well live there, and my parents are a big part of the support network. And he is primarily the biggest supporter I've got. And he pushes me to be normal, to be fair. He doesn't push me to do anything extraordinary. He just is there every day just to make sure that whatever I do, I keep going, basically. So I just like to say thanks to him.
In just a moment, I do want to to maybe give out some information. I mean, like, for example, it's very surprising to me to discover that there's more women die of a brain tumour than from cervical cancer. Some 65% more women die of a brain tumour than from cervical cancer. That was a statistic that was very surprising to me. Some 16,000 people are diagnosed with a brain tumour in the UK every year. Again, I didn't know that sort of figure.
The statistics for brain tumours, brain cancers, are very, very hidden. And the support given to brain tumours and the funding also is very, very low. Only 1% of funding is actually given to brain tumour research, as opposed to all the other cancer researchers. So it's about 20 years behind all other cancer researchers. So until, obviously, I've heard of breast cancer, testicular cancer, all the normal cancers, as it were, the ones you hear out every day. I'd heard very little about brain tumours and brain cancers, and obviously the more I've gone through my journey, the more I've discovered, like with the help of BT Buddies and Basic in Salford.
btbuddies.org.uk, it's a fantastic website. I've looked at it earlier, and it's full of information and support information. It also seems to be filled with hope as well, which I guess must be very important.
Yeah, it's not just this is how it is, this is what it is. It's also a bit of a support network. You can go on, there's other people's blogs are on there, so you can read other people's stories. There's nice things on there as well, that you can go on and read other people's stories. But yeah, it's all hope and it's all positivity. And overall, throughout all of my journey, I've found that is just got to be the biggest thing. Everybody's just so positive.
And of course, I know that you do a blog as well.
Yes,
a regular blog where you're outlining, what's happening for you, how you're doing, what's going on. And I've been reading that too, which is very interesting and alternately amusing or moving or what have you. Do you want to give out that detail as well?
It's available from the Trouble website, which is on www.troubleonline.co.uk, and click on blog. I do update it every day. I call it the ramblings of an idiot, because some days it is just pure ramblings. Other days I do put in there how I feel, and I do put links to other information in there as well. So
I mean, you made the decision to retire the act
yes.
with your partner. I know that you're currently selling off your drag regalia.
Yes.
The whole caboodle.
Caboodle's on there. So.
That's a huge undertaking, because I know you were such a successful act for so long. You must have loads of things to...
I think it's bigger than we actually expected when we started. But yeah, it's actually bringing back memories as well, which some of them are sad and some of them are very happy. But yeah, the act has retired now. But it will be nice to see those costumes and wigs and accessories go to somebody else that will get use out of them.
I'm happy to say, I have seen you in full costume, and very impressive you were too. And are, I mean, as you know, without your costume. It's been a pleasure and an honour to meet you again and to hear some of your story. I do hope you may wish to keep in touch.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And let us know how things are going for you.
Yes.
And how you're coping with the challenges that you face, both you and your partner. But I'd like to say thank you very much indeed for coming in today, Steve.
Thank you.